Highlights from the first race of the GB4 Championship, partnered by the BRDC. An excellent start off the second row of the grid, but it was Elisha Palmovsky leading down into the first corner. Harry Burgoyne Jr. stealing his way through into second spot with a bit of a squeeze on Finn Harrison running through that first turn. Finn Harrison would have to drop back into third position. McCacken having a bit of a struggle on that race start, not quite getting it done from pole position, dropping back to fourth position as it was Elite, KMR Sport, Elite and then KMR Sport. But Finn Harrison was on the attack, trying to fire his way up the order, getting to the outside and nearly stealing his way into second position. A big lock up though from Dan Hickey, who would send his way through the escape road down at Hislop before working back out onto the racetrack. This contact though between Harry Burgoyne Jr. And Finn Harrison would leave a bit of damage on Finn Harrison's car, squeezed out a little bit wide and then it removing the underside, effectively just ripping the floor straight off where the plank is. Palmovsky though coming through the final corner was absolutely dominant throughout the entire opening race and would take victory in the opening round of the season. Second race in the GB4 Championship, partnered by the BRDC, started with a big issue, unfortunately for Elisha Palmovsky. After a victory on Saturday's race, she would stall on the race start and drop to the back end of the top 10. It was an excellent conversion though by McCacken from the race lead. Harry Burgoyne Jr. though was having to deal with the charge of Finn Harrison down to the first corner, was unable to work his way past. Meanwhile, a bit further down the order there was plenty of drama. Unfortunately, a bit of a spin from Jack Taylor, who would drop back right over the nose of Megan Bruce and would drop down the order, unfortunately. Meanwhile, the battle for second position was absolutely on. Harry Burgoyne Jr. defending from Finn Harrison. It was a mistake from Burgoyne Jr. going into the second corner of the racetrack that would cost him second position. Finn Harrison working his way past and taking over that spot whilst he was setting fastest lap. Pebble first, Pebble second sector. He would have this incident and was fuming with himself. It would cause a red flag, and unfortunately Finn Harrison would drop right the way down the order. Dan Hickey involved in a really important fight here with Dia Noreen towards the back end of the top 10. Dia Noreen would go for a bit of a spin right in front of the race circuit as Marcus Luzio would fight his way past. Big slide coming in from McCacken, as we saw so many times throughout the race, as he absolutely dominated proceedings. Harry Burgoyne Jr. in second spot, and Brandon Templeton also taking his first podium of the season with a third place finish for the Fox Motorsport team. Highlights from the final race of the GB4 weekend, as there would be a staller in the background. Baxter unable to get going, but would eventually restart the car. We'll then have to close up to the rear end of the field. It was a great start though from Dan Hickey, leading down into the first corner. A couple of looks from the likes of Finn Harrison in the background as they all try and work their way through. Jack Taylor as well getting a bit caught up in the middle of all of this though. McCacken going into the island bend would have a bit of a moment here as you watch him just run out a little bit wide, clip the grass, and was unable to find any grip on the slick tyres with the very, very wet grass. Would become stationary. Megan Bruce and Grand Falls coming into contact going into the Shell Oils corner, sending Grand Falls up the road. He was able to keep the car going again, and once a safety car had come out, it had come back in again, and we were back racing with a lot of hard charges up and down the order. Race leader Dan Hickey checking out into the distance. Massive double front tyre lockup would open the door for Grant to come straight through and take over the race lead. Going through the Shell Oils corner a bit later on in the race, there was plenty of drama. Marcus Luzio out wide, as well as Finn Harrison, who had become stationary. Dia Noreen down the inside trying to get past Palmovsky, but just a bit of contact between the pair of them would send them off and into the grass. The pair of them will remain stationary and will be out of the race. Move to the inside though, Grand Falls would take over the race lead from Grant with a move on the final lap into the first corner. An excellent race victory for Grand Falls ahead of the two KMR Sport drivers.